Hey everybody, it's Alan, and I hope you are doing well. This week, I'm feeling like I want to focus on a playlist that I've ignored within the channel. It's called The First and Last, where we take the first song and the last song from an album and see if we can notice any kind of continuity. A through message. Is it a concept album or a great collection of songs or not a great collection of songs? The first song on most albums is trying to be a smash, just a hit that's going to grab the listener's attention and pull you into listening to the entire record. Whereas sometimes the last song on an album can be kind of a throwaway. You needed an extra 4 or 5 minutes to fill in the entire length of the album rather than keep the record short. And so you put a song together and maybe it's a good song, maybe it's not a good song. I think everything that I'm going to be playing for you this week has great songs at the beginning and the end, but I'll be curious to find out what y'all think. So to start off this week of First and Last, we're going to start off with Dire Straits' debut album from 1978, the self-titled album Dire Straits. We're going to start with Down by the Waterline, and we're going to finish it with the last song on the album called Lions.
Surrender on the quayside. You remember we used to run and hide in the shadow of the cargoes. I take you one time. We're counting all the numbers down to the waterline. When near misses on the dog-leaf stairway, kisses in the darkened doorway. Foghorn blowing out a wild and cold. The policeman, he shines a light on my shoulder. Up comes a coaster, fast and silent in the night. Over my shoulder, all you can see are the pile. No money in our jackets and our jeans are torn. Your hands are cold, but your lips are warm.
So from the very beginning of the album, the very first track, you hear Mark Knopfler's guitar come in, and it's clean and clear and articulate. And it's pretty much signaling to anybody that's going to listen, this is a sound that you have not heard, at least not in a very, very long time. At the time period in 1978, high gain, heavy distorted guitars were definitely a massive impact on the record industry. You know, whether it be Led Zeppelin or, you know, Boston's debut album or what have you. You mix that with the competitive nature of playing against the disco craze and the the rising pop synth world, and you realize just exactly how unique Dire Straits was in 1978 when it first came out. You know, you didn't hear clean Stratocaster pedal steel style bends in most recordings. You know, maybe Jeff Beck, but that's about it. And you didn't really necessarily hear clean. You heard like a lot of higher gain stuff. And the impact that Dire Straits had with a clarity in the guitar tone and a storytelling prowess that is somewhat reminiscent of what Bob Dylan or Tom Waits or Carole King would create at the same time as having this masterful musicianship was just a real big breath of fresh air to the recording industry. Let's go on to Lions.
Red sun going down way over dirty town. Stars there sweeping around in crazy show. Yes, and a girl is there, high heeling out across the square. The wind it blows around in her hair, and the flags upon the pole. Waiting in the crowd to cross at the light, she looks around to find a face she can hide. Church bell clinging on distant, trying to get a crowd even song. Nobody cares to depend upon the chimes that play. All in the station praying for train. A congregation late again. It's getting darker all the time. Flagpole day. Drunk old soldier, give her a fright. He's a crazy lion, he's a howling for a fight. Strap hanging, gunshot sound, door slamming on the overground. The starlings are tough, but the lions are made of stone. The evening paper in horror torn. There's hope later, Capricorn. Lucky stars give her just enough to get her home. Then she read about a swing to the right, but she's a think about a stranger in the night. I'm thinking about the lions thinking about the lions. Happened to the lions tonight.
Really smooth groove they've got going on in Lions. Now, the studio version's a little slower than my favorite live version, which I think my favorite live version is off of the BBC sessions. It's a little bit more up-tempo, a little bit faster shuffle, and there's a little bit of, I mean, the live vibe is really incredible on that particular track. Either case doesn't really matter because Mark Knopfler, I firmly believe, is a guitar player who's never played a wrong note. I can't imagine him playing a wrong note. Even if he were to break a string in the middle of a guitar solo, I'm thinking he'd still make it sound musical. He's just one of those guitar players with such a vocal style to his guitar playing that just it stands out from everything else. You know, he's sort of the working man's guitar hero in a lot of ways. He's not necessarily playing notes that other people can't play. He's not using a technique that other players can't use. He's just doing it to utter perfection. His love of something caught in my throat. His love of Chet Atkins is clear through most of his writing. You can hear that finger style country sort of walking Travis picking, chicken picking style of guitar playing, which obviously stems from him not using a guitar pick but playing with his fingers. That just has a different texture to it than so many other guitar players, especially of this era. Which, 1978, we're talking about the rise of Eddie Van Halen, the shred nature of Ritchie Blackmore, the utter hard rock or rock dominance, bluesy rock dominance of Jimmy Page. And then you got this little guy from this little band called Dire Straits who's just playing utter note perfection. And he's kind of more in the David Gilmour vein of guitar hero to me than he is anything else, because he's just, again, like Gilmour, another one of those guitar players that just plays the right note at the right time for the song. And it's really a magical talent that not every guitar player has. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that First and Last from Dire Straits. Please feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below. We can talk about it further. Just know that I appreciate all of you, and I wish you well.